think I got his attention.
You're a fool. No weapon forged can stop me.
That was then. This is now.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer has introduced the world to some of the most creative villains on TV. Welcome to JP Digital, and today we're counting down the top 10 most powerful villains featured on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. For this list, we're only ranking the villains featured on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, as the Buffy the Vampire Slayer villains featured on the comics is for a whole different other list. Number 10, Dracula, the most famous vampire in pop culture history. The Prince of Darkness took 5 seasons to finally make an appearance on the most famous vampire show in pop culture history, played by actor Rudolph Martin. The season premiere featuring Dracula brought to light the growing rift between Buffy and Riley, a romance that self-destructed later the same season. He goes on to impress the gang with his classic powers of hypnotism, turning into a bat and creating fog.
Kindred. Hardly.
Pull your hair back.
This isn't how I usually fight.
Dracula is also the second vampire Buffy has allowed to feed off her willingly, along with Angel, reminding us all how sustainable she is to the dark side of her powers. Dracula made a big impact on the show, even though he only stuck around for just 1 episode.
For a creature whose darkness rivals my own. You have been tasted.
Number 9, Mayor Wilkins, is probably the most destructive, yet also quite possibly most likable villain of the series. Along with his germophobia and bad jokes, he makes an endearing big bad to say the least. The juxtaposition of him being an evil entity and his potential love for Rogue Slayer Faith is a fascinating character study in a complex existence of both empathy and lack of compassion for everybody else.
It has begun. My destiny. It's a little sooner than I expected. I had this whole section on civic pride. But I guess we'll just skip to the big finish.
Mayor Wilkins also turned out to be the biggest big bad, being the only time we ever see a demon in its true, undiluted form. The mayor was pretty much invulnerable up until he transformed into his demonic self on graduation day, where Buffy and her friends could take him out by blowing up the school with him in it.
Well, gosh.
Number 8, Adam. Season 4 was an experimental time for the series as the main characters transformed from teenage high schoolers to young adults. This season found Willow, Buffy, and Oz all going to Sunnydale University, while Xander worked multiple odd jobs and began a serious relationship with Anya. Buffy starts a relationship with Riley, a government operative for an underground group of demon hunters called the Initiative, because nothing is ever what it seems on Buffy.
Admit us. Bring us to the vessel. Take us now.
You can't last much longer.
We can. We are forever.
Adam was a cannibalized pet master of the Initiative's leader, Dr. Maggie Walsh. After killing multiple members of the Initiative, Adam was defeated when Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Giles combined their essence in Buffy's body via an enjoining spell. The collective and Buffy invoked the strength of the first Slayer and used the magic to counter Adam's attacks. With their strength combined, Buffy manages to rip out Adam's power source and use the spell to destroy it, effectively deactivating the Demonoid.
How can you?
We've never hoped to grasp the source of our power.
But yours is right here.
Number 7, The Master. You never forget your first. This is especially true when it comes to vampire warlords who drown you. The Master was the first big bad of the show and set the tone for villains to come. Farmer and jealous concubine, Darla and Luke were his minions, one lasting a bit longer than the other. Originally, he was trapped under Sunnydale until he gained enough strength to go above ground. In the season 1 final, we see the prophecy of the Master killing Buffy come to pass, but she also is brought back to life by Xander.
Breathe. Breathe. Come on. Buffy.
After a brief rooftop scuffle, Buffy manages to flip the Master over himself, sending him crashing through the skylight and right into a jagged piece of broken table. She might be dead, but she's still pretty.
You're that amped about hell? Go there.
Number 6, Caleb. Nathan Fillion seems to pop up in a lot of Josh Whedon projects. However, his brief run as the Bible-thumping fire brimstone preacher, Caleb is nothing short of superb. Caleb is serving the first as his Lord and Savior, gleefully serving up what he thinks is his righteous deliverance in his own twisted, misogynistic way to Buffy and the rest of the Scoobies and the Potentials. Caleb is one of the deadliest fighters the Scooby Gang has ever faced, nearly beating Buffy in multiple battles. He is responsible for taking out one of Xander's eyes.
Oh, it has its moments. Paul has some good stuff, for instance. But overall, I find it a tad complicated. I like to keep things simple. Good folk. Bad folk.
Caleb may have only terrorized Sunnydale for a couple of episodes, but has left more of a permanent mark than nearly every other villain over the course of the series.
Stupid girl. You'll never stop me. You don't have the...
Who does nowadays?
Number 5, Faith. Faith comes to town after being called following the death of Kendra and starts off trying to be a part of the Scooby Gang. She tries to follow Buffy's rules, but Faith embodies recklessness and sex appeal, helping people for the high and pleasure of the killing rather than just the goodness of her heart. She will accidentally kill a human civilian during a patrol one night, sending her into a downward spiral into darkness. Despite attempts by Buffy and the Angel to help her, Faith embraced the evil side of her and became Mayor Wilkins' hitwoman. After putting her in a coma, Faith will reappear periodically, most notably in season 4 and 7. In the final season, we see a reformed Faith rejoin the side of good in the final battle with the first, with her being one of the handful of survivors at the end. Number 4, Spike. No matter how you feel about Spike, he is without a doubt the most layered, lasting villain in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series ever created. Spike doesn't have a distant moral compass. In fact, he sees no separation between good and evil. Named after his use of railroad spikes to kill his victims, his character is composed of every quality that makes him even sinister, sweet, and terrifying.
Who are you?
You'll find out on Saturday.
Happens on Saturday.
I kill you.
Spike would at times help the Scooby Gang, First motivated by trying to get on Buffy's good side, then gradually doing it because he wanted to be a better person. The killer of 2 former Slayers went through multiple trials to get his soul restored at the end of season 6. He will also make the ultimate sacrifice in the battle against the First and his army in the series final, only to reappear a few months later on Angel.
Feel it, Buffy.
What?
My soul. It's really there. Kind of stings.
Number 3, Angelus. In many ways, love can be just as destructive as death. And that is never more apparent than the heart-wrenching season 2 of Buffy. Following the loss of her virginity to Angel, his soul is taken from him as a part of a gypsy curse. The madness starts when the soulless Angelus tells Buffy he had fun and will start to call her later as if he used her just for bad sex.
What?
You got a lot to learn about men, kiddo. Although I guess you proved that last night.
What are you saying?
Let's not make an issue out of it, okay? In fact, let's not talk about it at all. It happened.
I don't understand. Was it me?
Angelus begins taking joy in stalking and playing sick games with Buffy and her friends, leading to the murder of Jenny Calendar after he finds out she found a spell to restore his soul. We will have to wait a few more episodes for the real Angel to come back, only to have Buffy put a sword through his chest in order to save the world. Number 2, Dark Willow. Members of the Scooby Gang have come and gone, whether it's to die or they turn evil or simply relocate to LA. However, the core group of Buffy, Willow, and Xander always remain. Willow scuffled with the addiction of magic, coupled with the tragedy of the loss of her lover Tara, managed to create a crack in that foundation that we have never witnessed from Willow. The character development of Willow from a shy nerd to cruel spell-casting murderess is the most drastic yet believable, heartbreaking one of the series. Following the tragic death of Tara, Willow dives into black magic to kill the man responsible.
Your shirt. Tara? Baby? Baby, come on! Get up! No! No!
The intimacy of Willow's role as the big bad creates a conflict of emotion for both the viewers and the Scooby Gang, challenging them to explore the grayer areas of morality. Number 1, Glory. Glory was mentally unstable, egotistical, and violent. Glory was not a demon, nor was she a vampire. She was a god. Glory possessed tremendous physical strength far beyond the power of vampires and slayers. She was able to inflict massive damage on her opponents through her physical strength alone. She was immortal. Buffy could hit her repeatedly, while Glory would appear to just absorb the blows without taking any damage. Willow's lightning bolts caused her pain, but caused no visible damage. In her efforts to find a key, also known as Dawn, the only way she could return to her universe, Glory left carnage in her wake throughout the season. From crippling Tara's mind, almost killing a vengeful Willow, beating Spike to a pulp, to snatching Dawn up to kill her.
That witch really slowed me down.
Dickon.
Buffy struggled in each battle she had with Glory, but got better after each battle. But in Glory and Buffy's final battle, Glory was beaten nearly to death by Buffy using a godly hammer. Truthfully, Buffy never truly defeats her, as killing Ben is the only way Glory could truly be killed, which happens courtesy of Giles when he suffocated Ben in her human alter ego form.
Us.
Do you agree with our picks? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to be updated on all of our latest videos.